Hey guys, welcome back to the DroneOn Show. I'm Mike.
And I'm Kevin.
On this week's episode, we're going to get into DJI bands, right? Everybody's talking about DJI bands.
Talk a lot about newbies. How do you get your first 1,000 acres and the pain of the first 1,000 acres?
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting episode. Let's hop right into it. But we could talk about Whitetail Research using thermal drones. Did you watch any of his stuff yet?
I have not yet watched him.
Dude.
You told me it was so good.
I just think it's so good. Did you watch any of it? Awesome.
I watched his first episode, yeah.
What did you think?
It was pretty cool. Like
well put together.
Oh, well put together.
I like how he brings comedy into it as well.
Yeah.
A little bit of comedy. His second one, no, not his second one. His third one, it's hilarious because he's like going after like big name hunters, like not really like attacking them, but just like saying like, here's my data. Literally, physically you can see trail camera sits right here.
Yep.
This is the photo that trail camera got.
Yep.
2 deer, but there's 10 other deer right next to the trail camera that your trail camera never got.
Yep.
Yeah.
And
well, that's kind of the case with the deer that I shot last year, was that I had one picture of him late summer. And then when I shot him, he shot him in an area where he came off the trail, because the trail camera was on like a logging road. He always went down. He came off the trail, went down around a tree, and came back up. Was working his way back up to the trail. So I never saw any pictures of him.
Yeah.
But when I was in the tree and I shot him,
yeah.
You know, it's so interesting to see that data. And, you know, it's like hunting is such a sport. It's such a mind thing where you're trying to figure out what these bucks are doing. And it's really cool to see.
Oh, dude,
all that data.
It's crazy to see it from an aerial. You know, when drone deer, we started getting bigger, a lot more views when we first started, guys would always ask me to do this type of stuff that Derek is doing with Whitetail Research now. But I don't have a passion to do that. Like, I like deer, but I don't like deer to that extent that I'm going to go do that. But I think it's so cool that somebody went out and did an original, something that nobody else has done yet with thermal drones, because there's a lot more things that can be done with thermal drones. But him going out there, putting in the time, and he clearly has a passion. He loves whitetail deer. He likes to study them. He's the perfect guy to do this, to now bring data to the hunting industry that's never been done before. And I'm telling you, I think he's going to continue blowing up.
Yep. That's
Do
amazing.
you remember when we did that one where we were doing the downwind test on that buck, and you like didn't have a wind checker, so we stopped in at like Dollar General and got some baby powder.
Yeah.
And
I'm actually going to release that video at some point, but I'm just going to redo the whole thing, because I'm going to explain to them like that there's a new channel, right? Like this was something that I was doing because the viewers wanted to see it, but there's a new channel that does it way better than we do it. But here's what we were doing, and it's completely Jimmy rigged, meaning not good, like compared to what Derek does.
I mean, and the guy, like, he's committed to it. Like, he literally stopped hunting so that he could collect data.
Yeah.
Like, that is next level.
Yeah. He will be on the podcast at some point.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Anyhow, I just thought, okay.
Yeah, it's good, you know, in all this stuff we're going to transition, and we're going to talk about, you know, DJI and stuff like that. It's just fun to talk about some fun stuff.
Yeah.
Because there's some other stuff that's like kind of heavy and, you know, just like what's going on here. So
it's good you bring that up. There's a lot of stuff that it almost feels like during this time there's more down than there is up because of the whole supply issue, DJI problems, like trying to ban. It's a lot. But we did go spraying yesterday, or 2 days in a row.
Yeah, that was fun. That was some good spraying.
It's good to just be able to go do something and know that you can get it knocked out in no time at all. Where it's not like I have to get this done, and that done. Makes it a little nicer. But I will say, when you are just out there watching the drones putz around doing their thing, it's like, give me another drone. I need something else to do. So we started flying underneath the power line to make it more interesting.
Yeah, Mike was just out there. He was like, by that second half of the day, he was just like trying new stuff.
So what, are the fields too gravy or what?
Yeah, they were gravy.
So it's too simple.
Yeah, they were easy.
Yeah, they were pretty good.
Nice.
Yeah.
So under the power lines, no issue. T60.
Yeah. Yep. You're about 3 feet off the corn and about 3 feet from the power line. Yeah, it was fun.
Yeah. Yeah, battery management. That's just still, when you have gravy fields, that's just.
Battery management is a big thing. It's awesome we're talking about it. I am just not convinced how the T100 is going to hold up in our type of fields. Right, we had, what were they, 30-acre fields, 40-acre fields?
Yeah.
We're doing 2-gallon work, but the drone's just turning so much, the T60, T60X, it's turning so much that the battery management is hard because it's carrying the load with it for so long, doing 2-gallon work. And we're trying to figure out how in the Sam Hill is the 100 going to do this if you're doing 2-gallon work. And I know that we talked to DJI when we were there. Did they know that fungicide's done at 2 gallons? Okay.
Yeah, they definitely did.
I'm really curious how much like 2-gallon work they do or do in their testing.
Yeah,
Because,
I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's...
I think they're definitely aware of it. But isn't that why they have the 70p, like for smaller fields?
Yeah, probably. I'm just trying to figure out where the 100 is going to fit. Is it, do you need to have a minimum of a 3,000-foot run? Or can you, will it work with a 1,000-foot run? I don't know. But I'm really excited to get my hands on it and start using it. There's only one way to figure that out, and it's actually doing real life stuff.
Because when that T60X shines and like outperforms is when you can get 2 trips out of 1 battery.
100%.
That's when you know you're killing it.
Yep.
But yeah,
because you're basically, when we get 2 trips off of 1 battery, we're doing 10 and a half, maybe 11 gallons, and so we're doing anywhere between 20 to 22 gallons per battery. Now you're laying it down because you don't have to pull that battery every time. You're covering a lot more acres that way. Yeah, so I just don't know. I don't know where the 100 is going to land. I definitely think that there's fields that are not obviously right here in our area in Ohio that it's going to shine. Like when you have a mile-long run down and a mile-long run back. We'll see.
Yeah, I don't know where that thing's going to land, but man, I can't wait to see it fly. Like, I'm excited for that.
I think there's a lot of people excited about it.
And there's a lot of acres like what you described.
Oh, yeah. I think, no doubt there's more acres like what I just described than what we're dealing with here, for sure. Yeah. I mean, we did set up on one field Monday night, was it? Yeah, Monday night. It was a 3,000-foot run in Ohio. I haven't gotten to set up on a lot of those, but out in Kansas, those guys will set up on a mile to 2 mile run for sure.
Yeah. And then the speed and the capacity is just going to be.
Yeah.
I mean, we keep talking about airplanes, but it's going to be a fun comparison to see how 2 T100s compete with an airplane.
I totally agree. I mean, just with what we done in Kentucky in that 124-hour shift, we had T60s. We're doggone. If you look at what we done, you're getting pretty. You're on his tail. Yep. Okay. I didn't spend $2 million on my airplane. I spent $140,000 on a rig.
Yep.
It's like to compare, to be that close, to be the same. Yeah.
I would just like to watch Mike spray for like a month in Kansas.
Oh,
because you'd be bored out of your mind. Well, like, what would you be doing? Like,
I would probably be trying to fly 4 drones or doing something.
Yeah.
No, that's how you would do it. Yeah. Actually, just line up like 4 trailers, and you just maneuver them all from one trailer, but you have ground guys filling them for you.
There you go.
It's literally just a monitoring game.
Yeah. Yeah, that would be insane.
That could work because they're going to RTH slightly in a different direction than all coming to one trailer. Okay. We're on to something.
Are you saying 4 drones and 4 trailers, or like 8 drones and 4 trailers?
Yeah, 8 drones, 4 trailers. I mean, I couldn't fly them all, but I'm just saying, like, so instead of them all RTHing to the one trailer, they just be lined up, but the guy is monitoring them because let's say there's 800 acres and you're flying T100s, just bring them back to their landing spot because I can be a mile, a 3/4 mile away. I can still see it, but I just maneuver it on my controller and we have Cena headsets. connected to the ground guy. Ground guy says, yep, battery swap, ready to go. And I take that guy off, and now the other one is RTHing back to the trailer that I'm working on.
Yeah. The biggest challenge I see there is just like making sure you grab the right controller for the right drone. Like so many controllers.
Oh, 100,
like that would
100%.
be
Yeah,
the biggest challenge.
Yeah,
But,
just keep you have to stay focused on what you're doing. And I bet it would be kind of like ATC, like air traffic control. You can only work so long, and then you have to take a break, and then you come back because there's so much information happening.
Yeah. Yeah.
But that would be fun.
And the step up version, right, would be you have the trailer and you add a truck bed flight platform to where you could actually do 3, 1 pilot, 1 ground guy.
The reason I don't want to bring everything back to the same location is it is happening so fast that you will have 2 coming back. And if they're coming like this, like me and Austin did
yesterday,
me and Austin did it yesterday. He's coming in this direction, I'm coming in from this direction, and we're, that's 30, that's 60 miles an hour closing in within seconds they would smack. And so if you're trying to operate 3 drones from the same platform, they will all converge to the same area.
Yeah, and give a little context there. So we were on a road. I was spraying the field on the right side. You were on the left side. So opposite sides. And we were using the same return to home point. Like, it's not just like coming to the same trailer. It's literally the same, like the middle of the trailer is where we're like landing these drones, filling, swapping batteries. So they're literally coming to the same point. And it was like, here they come.
That's why I'm saying, right, say you have 3 100s on a trailer. Yes, you can do that, but they all converge within 5 feet.
Yeah.
That's, height, altitude, that you can set those differently. But I'm talking about where they want to land is still all in the same area. Where if you spread out your trailers, say you're just trying to cover those acres, and it would make more sense because let's say it is a 600 some acre field, it makes more sense for the one drone to be up on the far side, one in the middle, and one at the other end. That way they don't have to ferry as far to get to their fields to start.
Yep, makes sense.
So you would maneuver it. You'd have like a command post.
Yeah, that would definitely take it to the next level.
I think that could work.
Yeah,
because then you wouldn't really have drones crossing paths.
Never.
Right?
Nope.
So it would all be, but you'd have 1 pilot per every 2 drones.
Well, it depends how much that pilot can watch.
Yeah, it's just crazy though. Like when you think about the T100s though, like they're flying faster. So there's just that much more quick that you have to process information as a pilot. You know, if you'd have I don't want to go way back to the T40s, but those things move so slow that it's like you could manage 4 or 5 of those drones just because you have time to react.
Yes, exactly.
But,
Yep. And flying as fast as the T100 is going to fly, I don't know how much the human brain could process that quickly.
Yeah. I wonder if it would be a thing that you could just set your return to home speed slower, and then once you actually
you could
get your hands on that controller, then you can bring it in fast. Yeah. But if you would just have all drones slow down, I don't know. It would be a thing that'd be fun to try.
Yeah, you
get out there.
You can totally set your RTH speed. Yeah, it would be fun. But honestly, we just need to get them into the United States of America before we actually get too carried away on processing. How we're gonna operate a bunch of drones.
And I'd say in the last 2 weeks, it's not only become getting the new models in, it's also how do we support existing drone pilots with parts and
DJI parts.
DJI parts.
Yeah. If you go on YouTube right now and you look at anything about DJI, you'll just see all these videos with a lot of fear about not being able to get products. They're banned. They're not shipping parts. Which is partially true, but there's a lot of it just feels like it's just fear.
And a lot of people that see, I think, not the complete picture. They just see something and they make assumptions based on the little bit of info that they see.
Yeah.
So I guess just to maybe set the record straight on a couple things. DJI in the beginning of July, they stopped shipments to the U.S. And nobody knows exactly why, but there's a couple different theories out there. It was shortly after the Big Beautiful Bill was passed, so some people say it was related to that. Other people say that Customs and Border Patrol has started stopping other non-drone related products by DJI, like their whole microphone lineup, their camera lineup, their gimbal lineup, and they're,
is this based on like YouTube videos, or do you?
No, other sources.
Because Kevin has been putting a lot of time in sourcing products. Is this from contacts that you made?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
And so the thought is that, and the whole thing is done because CBP is using, like, there's no law banning it, right? People know this. There's no law banning it, but CBP is using they're enforcing some seizures, or they're stopping stuff when it tries to come through customs and send it back, accusing the company of using forced labor. But up until now, this company's using forced labor, right? But only in their drones, right? Not in their drone accessories.
Only if the drone was put together.
Not in their cameras, not in their mics.
Yeah.
It's only here. And so it's like, well, this doesn't make any sense. And so, the theory, at least one of the theories, is that, DJI has tried everything. They've tried suing the government. They've tried...
That was not a good move.
Appealing. They've tried different things. And now I think respectfully, they're taking a step back and saying, we will not ship anything to the U.S.
Yep.
And we want to work with the U.S. government and the incoming president.
You mentioned the big...
Beautiful bill.
Yeah. Do you think that there's something, just your opinion?
Yeah.
Do you think there's something in that bill that DJI wants to try to...
My personal opinion is that it's unrelated.
Okay.
It's unrelated. I think it happened at the same time, some of their policy changes, but it's unrelated. That's my hunch.
Okay.
I could be totally wrong.
Yeah.
I don't have a lot of facts on that.
It would be so good if we would have been able to get a meeting with like the executives at DJI when we were in China. We were mostly with the R&D team and marketing and service team. But to hear from them, like what's their long term? What's their long term goal?
And everything that I hear is like they're not giving up on the U.S. market, and I think they see that in the next 3 years drones are not going away.
Yeah.
It's like drones are going to happen, and they want a piece of the market. But right now it's one thing to get in drones in small quantities or to bring in parts to support drones. It's another thing to say this is going to scale, 10x over every year for the next 5 years.
Yep.
And there's just no way right now that DJI is poised to be able to do that.
Yeah. I think that's why we can look at some of the big players in the industry, why so many people have jumped ship and are wanting to look at different options because of how many units it will take. Not that they're necessarily truly convinced that product is a better product. It's just they're looking at the sheer volume of units it will take.
And it seems like the bigger the distributor you are, the more you just want it to be easy.
Yep.
Like you want your supply chain to be normal. You know what to expect.
Yep.
You know how to never be out of stock.
Yep.
And you want to be able to place an order, wire the money, and it arrives in 21 days or whatever it is. And that's not the case right now.
Yeah.
So, but I would like to also say for parts and for people who have existing DJI drones, I would not worry yet, because there are a lot of people that are small enough like we are to where we're not this big, huge distributor where we're actually trying to source parts, and we are sourcing parts from different places to support our customers.
Yeah.
And when it comes to warranty, that's another big question people have. How do you handle warranty? Well, on the enterprise, it's kind of a screwed up situation right now.
It is.
Because you can send your warranty to Canada potentially to get covered, but DJI is no longer selling they're not renewing warranty plans or enterprise care. But if you have an existing coverage, you can send it to Canada, but good luck getting that back into the US.
Yeah. Yep.
So some people are doing, what I did on a drone just recently, where you send it to Canada, it gets fixed, and then I'm just shipping it to a Canadian address, and then figuring out how do I go up there, have a friend. It's my personal drone, so I'm allowed to travel with it.
Yep.
But if it's just not working to ship it across the border anymore.
Yeah.
You sometimes have to pay tariffs on a drone you already purchased that you just got repaired. So you have a free repair, but $1,000 tariff bill, which doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. I seen another guy on YouTube with an M4 Pro that had to do something like what you're talking about. And he, up there in Canada, they did repair the drone and then shipped it to him because it is his drone. Yep. He actually bought it here in the States. Once it got repaired, it was transitioning through Kentucky, and it's still in CBP's hands. And it's not like that drone is coming to be sold. Yeah. It's already...
Yeah, it's a repair drone. But I will say for enterprise, like for agricultural drones, then it's a little bit different. And DJI provides their warranty service or their repair service through dealers and service centers like us. And what's made it hard for us is we actually are operating the warranty program at a loss because the price of parts and the difficulty and everything has gone up, but DJI's reimbursement price has not gone up.
Well, they even told us it's not going to because, I mean, the DJI guy in China told us that the customer service, experience in the States has been one of the worst.
I think it's the worst performing market of any country currently.
Why is that, you think?
There are only 2 service centers in the U.S. that were grade A. That was us and one other service center. Everybody else, they don't. I don't know.
I don't know. I wonder if they don't put.
I mean, it's hard to put a lot of effort in something that you're losing money in.
True.
But like what the what DJI told us is like stick with us. Like let's prove that you're a good service center.
That's
and then
exactly
we'll
what he
figure
said.
out the money.
He said you prove that you're worth more. And we're like, okay, we'll try.
So, for example, they have this whole plan where if it's a motor, right, they'll compensate us for a number of shop hours or labor or whatever.
Yep.
But there's nothing for the diagnosis, like the 3 hours it took to figure out testing different parts, nothing for that. And I will just say also the hourly rate is not what we're paying shop guys. Like we get less money than
what they're actually paying for.
Yeah. But I just want to say though, for the record, like we've decided to continue offering warranty, and I think it's such an important thing to do. Like, so we're going to continue offering warranty and losing money on it, honestly, for as long as we're able to keep the doors open. And as long as we can sell parts and some of that stuff, we can maybe break even. But for us, this is more like the long term. How do we support our pilots? How do we support applicators?
Well, there's literally thousands of DJI spray drones sold in the States. And to just say, whoop, done, that doesn't make any sense. Like, no.
Yeah, it's so hard for a lot of these guys because, they're just starting their business. And if you have a drone that goes down or crash, like, you need it up and going. Like, as soon as possible.
100%.
And it's just, guys are panicking when drone goes down.
I'd say the other good news is on new drone models that are going to be sold here over the next 6 months, T70, T100, 1-year warranties in the U.S. are going to be sold with those units as well, is the latest I'm hearing. So you buy a T100 from a reputable dealer who's able to provide warranty and service. DJI is working with dealers like us to help facilitate that.
Yeah, like you said earlier, I just think that DJI knows how big this market is, and they will do what they can to try to stay in the game.
Yeah.
Politicians will probably end up trying to get their way, but I just think that DJI is willing to work with them.
And
clearly they are. They were begging to do the investigation. They were like, please do the investigation so we can prove to you that we're not doing anything. But we also know how that could potentially turn out too.
Yeah. And it's so toxic right now for a politician to do a review of DJI and say there's no threat to national security. Like if I'm from a red state and I'm like, China, our biggest adversary, their biggest drone manufacturer poses no risk to national security, even if it's true.
Yes, yeah.
Just the political statement and how my opponents will use that against me. I mean, that's really tough. That's a tough thing for a politician to come out and say.
That's a good point.
So I don't know how that'll work.
Your countdown clock isn't working.
Oh, it's not counting down.
No.
Yeah.
I will say the other thing though is like we talk DJI, the actual bills being proposed and the stuff that's going to take effect in December is Chinese-made drone.
Oh yeah, it's not
including
just
DJI, Autel, XAG, EA Vision, and every other single EA, like
any drone.
Yeah.
Any drone that is built, manufactured
in China.
Will be affected.
So, I mean, and already you see people trying to move manufacturing over to different countries, but that is a hard thing to do with specialized technology like this.
Yeah.
So how fast that'll happen, I don't know. I don't know what it's going to be like. But it's not just DJI. I just want to make that clear. Like every other brand is also having these same challenges.
Right now, what's being talked about is DJI because they're the largest and they're the most well-known, and that's what people have been using for the last 10 years. And so if you say DJI, you will know, oh, that's the company that builds drones.
Yeah.
Like if you say something like Top Gun, most people are not going to know what that is. Well, that's also another spray drone manufacturer that nobody knows about. And so you would say Top Gun, you'd have no clue what that is. Yeah. So using the 3 letters DJI, people are gonna know that that's a drone manufacturer that they've come to know, love, and use every day. I could not imagine how many DJI drones actually get used every single day in the United States.
Yeah.
Anything from consumer, enterprise, and spray drones. Like there's an unbelievable amount of DJI drones in the enterprise thermal drone space that I'm aware of that gets used every day, from power line inspections, police departments, search and rescue. The list goes on.
Dude, and I've been hearing like DJI docks are actually being used by police departments now.
In the States?
In the States.
Okay.
Yeah. Like I'm hearing of like departments that bought 40 of them.
Okay.
And I don't know exactly how they're deploying and using them, but I mean, it's just kind of cool and interesting to me that not just, my understanding is actually state or federal agencies are actually using these.
Well, I mean,
explain how that makes sense. But
what do you mean by line of sight or what?
Well, not just line of sight, but if they are a threat to national security. The thing is, there's nothing else that's as good.
There's a difference between a sheriff's department. A sheriff is voted in by we the people, and
federal funds, right?
No, if it's federal funds, that's where it gets a little weird.
Right.
Yeah. But like that's why we're selling to sheriff's departments and not directly to police departments. Like New York City, those are a little different funding.
So are you saying even if there's like a sheriff has funds that they're not federal, but they're also not state, they would be independent of that?
Like an actual, if you say a sheriff, there's the sheriff of Tuscarawas County, we voted him in. Like if it's a police department, I think the mayor puts the chief in place. And so then that's different. So the sheriff department and the sheriff works for we, the people that voted him in. And so the funds are different. If you watch Peter Sentinella, where he goes out to maybe like the border, he gets to talk to sheriffs, but he can't talk to like the U.S. Custom Border Protection.
Yeah.
But the sheriff can tell him exactly how he feels because he was voted in.
Yeah.
Where the other people get appointed.
Yeah.
If you're appointed, it's different. Your voice is different than it is if the people voted you in.
Interesting. That's good.
Yeah. But that being said, I think that's why sheriff departments are still buying DJI drones, is because their funds come from different areas. I think. I don't know that indefinitely, but yeah.
Yeah.
That being said, I think the dock will be used for crowd, like at concerts. Like there's such huge crowds and things are going on. I think that docks will be used at those locations just for monitoring. I think of the tragedy that happened in Las Vegas. I think it was Las Vegas, that shooting.
Yep.
It took them how long just to figure out where where these shots were coming from. I think if a thermal drone would have been in the sky, they could have probably seen the rounds actually. Like and you could have pinpointed it exactly where that dude was located. I think. I'm sure there's many more areas that they can be used in. Oh, another one. I just found this out by watching one of Peter Sentinella's videos. Is there's private firefighting companies. So in California, like the super rich hired private firefighting companies to come in and protect their houses from this, forest fire or whatever it was. That having thermal drones or firefighting drones would totally make sense.
Yep.
And he was saying that insurance companies are now paying private firefighting companies. Yeah. Well, it makes sense. Listen, if it costs them $250,000 to protect a $20 million house, they are still in the long run further ahead than they would have if they would have just let the house burn up.
No, and I think it's good to have like commerce or capitalism is a great way to answer that problem. But it sucks that the state so badly manages that you have to hire, like the state has no resources to do this. And so
yeah, but I think
you have to hire a
there
private
will
company.
always be those private entities. It doesn't matter what it is. You're going to have it because there's just too big of a scale. If the state tries to have enough guys to protect each house, it's just not going to work. It is going to go down to who has the money. I know it sucks, but there's an opportunity for people.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking of like the T100 or the T60s. Like FAA, loosen up on some of your BS, regulations. Hook up a hose to those suckers. Hook up a hose and let them fly around these houses spraying, right? Like not with their tanks, but physically holding a hose, spraying as the fire is coming. Make it so much easier to protect a house. Pulling up a 2-inch hose or an 1.5 inch hose, pumping out 150 gallons a minute.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Starts making sense.
It starts making a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. That again, it's probably just a matter of time. But what I can assure you is that the United States will probably be the last country that ever actually adopt because of regulations.
Yeah,
yep.
100%.
Yep.
Like you see the videos where they're on high-rise buildings pulling up, long hoses and spraying it straight into high-rise. Yeah, it's going to be a long time till it gets here. But after hearing that there's private firefighting companies, I started thinking about all the use cases.
Dude, just to have a drone, like, I wonder if that would be a thing. Would that be a thing? You get special licensing and FAA exemptions to operate like in some of these high danger areas.
I think those type of companies might not even care what the FAA says because they will charge for the service and then deal with it on the back end.
So you for sure could not fly when there's like, what are they called, where there's like a no-flight zone over disaster? TFR. So you for sure could not fly then. But is it possible that under the emergency clause, you could actually fly a drone outside of its intended use in the case of like working for emergency services?
That's what they were trying to say when, things were happening in Tennessee, right, with the whole flooding thing. But it depends who sees you. But I'm going to say that.
Did anybody get fined? Like, do you know if
no, because nobody had an issue with it.
Right. It would be interesting if, let's say, like there's a company out in California that has 5 T100s, and they have those like dropping mechanisms things that can you describe how they work?
Yeah. So they're basically fire bombs. They have fire retardant product in it, and it measures the distance from the ground to the drone, how far it is. It has a laser on it, and it measures it, and then it drops it, but it sets a detonator in that bomb as it's coming down, and it will detonate at approximately 15 feet to 20 feet above the ground, and then it will shoot out this fire retardant product. Yep. But
so imagine with the T100, you have 10, let's say you have 10 bombs or whatever we call those that are 30 pounds each, 25, 30 pounds each. And you could actually fly in a line and go, bang, and actually, I mean, it would be so interesting if the FAA would actually cite or fine a company doing that in defense of private homes.
Well, again, Kevin, they probably wouldn't care.
I agree.
Remember there was this time when somebody called me from the FAA. They don't care. They actually don't care as long as the public, somebody doesn't turn it in. Then they have to do their job, and they have to uphold the rules.
Yeah, it would just be interesting. Like it'd be interesting to see how that plays out.
It would be interesting
because
to see
there's something that's so obviously in the public good, and the FAA's laws require them to do whatever they're going to do.
Yeah,
I don't know. I mean, it could.
I mean, they tried to go. We're not going to go down that route anyhow. But there's so many things that they could be used for good. I just seen a forest fire that started, I think it was in California, and it was caught on a security camera. You could see this little tiny bit of smoke, right? And then it was fast forward. Smoke gets bigger. If a local fire department would have had a Flycart 100 or a T100 and have these, whatever you want to call them. But I don't want to say it's a bomb, but that's what they're called. They're called fire bombs.
Fire retardant bombs. Maybe.
Fire retardant bombs. But people hear bombs on the drone, and that's why we can't have it in the States. But I'm saying, imagine a local fire department would have had it, and they see that little bit of smoke. I don't care if it's 5 miles away. Yep. It's in the most rugged piece of country you can't get to. Fly that doggone drone up there and drop the fire retardant bombs, and boom.
Yep.
Done.
And maybe while you're out there, maybe also have a dock drone doing a thermal scan every 4 hours.
Watching.
To see what little pockets of heat are starting.
Yeah. No, but like you said, it's our regulations.
It's going to happen, and we'll be the last to implement it. So.
Probably.
But what else is going on in this week's news?
We basically addressed them already. The parts issue, big problem. But I would say right now we're in the heat of fungicide season. I'm not really running that hard myself, but guys across the country are. I mean, we see it by the service department just being absolutely inundated with calls with drones going down. A lot of stuff happening right now on Facebook. I don't follow it much, but people are talking about their DJI drones are falling out of the sky. And I think we're linking this back probably to old batteries. A lot of old batteries are getting moisture inside the batteries. And when they're being used a lot, getting heated up, at some point that connection just is lost and down goes the drone.
Are you seeing that on T50s or
T40s?
T40s.
Yeah, a lot of T40s. It did happen to a T50, but he was running an old T40 battery in his T50. So that is something that's been happening lately. And it looks like it's really bad because it is, it's DJI drones. People are like, DJI is probably making these things come down, so they buy new models. You can surmise whatever you want, but yeah, I don't think it's that. Although it looks like it's more DJI drones than other drones, it's because there's 10,000 more DJI drones than other models out there. The news right now is it's basically a downer because of how the government is treating DJI. Right, and if you're an American, you're listening to this, and you're probably like, yeah, it should be like the China's, they're going to kill us all because they're watching us. I just talked to somebody, I can't tell where we were spraying, but a huge school. He's like, yeah, what are they going to watch? The corn growing out here? That's just some common sense. Like, what are they going to watch? I mean, get on Google Maps. I was in China. I was able to get on Google Maps. I could zoom into my house right here and look at, my trees and everything. What more are they going to see?
Yeah. It would be nice to have more of the supply chain in the U.S. Like
if we would, there wouldn't be other models. I can tell you that. And that's probably where this will.
So here's what I think, though. Like, if drones are going to become an increasingly important part of the American economy, because soon, farmers are using them. They're not using airplanes. They're not using ground rigs. They're using drones. Like, fast forward 5 years. If our supply chain still relies 100% on parts and everything coming from China, and we enter some kind of a Cold War or something with China where trade stops, like, the impact to our economy, to our agriculture, like, we should not depend on that. I think we should have other...
There should be other options, but it should be done slowly.
Yeah, you got to, because you don't want to hurt the entrepreneur, the farmer.
Yeah, like the transition should take a little bit of time, not just, DJI's shipping in thousands of drones and then wha-bam, close the door and say no more.
Is that how Trump rolls?
It feels that way.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. And like August 1st, there's all these other tariffs to other countries that haven't made a deal. Wapang. On August 1st, they go into effect. Okay. And if you haven't negotiated a deal with the United States, then Trump will tell you what your new tariff is. And
I don't follow it enough to know.
Yeah. It's definitely not slow and methodical. It's like abrupt and somewhat chaotic.
No, but I think it's a good idea if we can start getting our stuff figured out to manufacture our own motors, our own propellers, our own everything. Do you know how expensive that's going to be?
And the timeline it's going to take. It's going to be out of control. Yep.
Timeline is one thing. Cost is another. I mean, you look at what happened when this chair is driving me nuts. But look at what happened when the price increased just by tariffs. We could see sales almost immediately drop off. Like, people are like, they knew what they could buy it at. Yep. And now you're telling me it's 10,000 more? Yep. Only 10,000 more, right? I get it. Yes, it's 10,000 more. But if you look at what a Helio costs versus what a T60X or a T50 costs right now, this Helio American-built thing, it's not American-built, all right? 90% of their parts are from China. But if it were, I cannot see that drone being less than $85,000. One drone.
Really?
Yes.
Wait.
If it's built in America.
Okay, yeah. You're 100%. Not saying that a Helio doesn't retail for that.
Because I think they're...
assembled in America.
I think a Helio drone right now is in that 60s.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, I think
Is
it's
it
in
really?
the 60s. Yep.
$60,000. Wow. No wonder they're crowdfunding and trying to.
Well, yeah, soon they won't need to do crowdfunding because there will be government subsidies to help with that.
Wow.
Oh, yeah, guarantee it.
So I did not know it was that high. That seems just exorbitant. And that's for the whole generator, batteries, everything, right?
That's
the whole kit.
that's like the fly all day type of kit. Yeah, because we're 43,000 for a T60X, but we were still like 20 grand less than what a Helio would be.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy to me. So,
but that's going to be the reality.
Yeah.
Like, yes, things get built in China for less because their workers make less.
There's a reason our iPhones are made in China, right?
Yeah. But like, if you take a T50 motor, like let's talk the copper, everything that goes into building that motor, bring that motor to America. There is just no way that we're building it.
There's a company, I think out of Dallas, called Unusual Machines, and Donald Trump Jr. is on the board of advisors or something. And they don't create drones; they create drone
Parts.
Yep, like they create the components.
Yep.
Almost like Hobby Wing,
Yep.
what we saw in China. So maybe it's the start. I don't know. I don't know what they're making. I don't know how viable it is, but it's cool to see that they're doing that.
No. Listen, it will be a thing in America, but a lot of those drones that will be American built will be funded, paid for, used by the military, the police departments, these departments that get federal funding to pay for these things. They don't care that it's $80,000. They just care that it's built in America, and they have the funds to do it. But when you talk Joe, the entrepreneur that wants to start a business, and he has to go get a loan for it, it's going to be too hard for him. If it's the farmer that wants to buy a drone and it's $30,000 more because it's built in America, it's just going to get be hard.
But I do think that the road to it being easier is to scale up component manufacturing in America. So I like that they're doing that.
No, I get it. I'm not against it. I'm just trying to get my mind around how is the end consumer going to shift his mind? Because we're going to need to be taught differently. Like
that a drone is now worth $60,000, not $30,000.
And it might not work as good.
Yeah.
No, you know what I'm saying? Like, I want to buy an American drone right now and start using it so I can teach myself. But then just me, allowing myself to spend more money just because it's built in America.
Austin, what would that be like for you as an applicator to spend $60,000 on a crappier drone? Like, what would that experience be like for you?
Oh man, it'd be so hard. Yeah, spend more money for something that's not as good, and then also you always have that more of that fear factor of crashing. Like, what are you going to do? Like, if everything else,
the risk is a lot higher.
The risk is a lot higher, and then you know that parts are probably going to be more expensive because they're going to be all manufactured in the U.S.
Yeah,
so there's just that whole you're not going to feel as free to it was just like with the T60X that I put down when we were in Kentucky. Like, it was amazing. Accidentally hit a line, and because I didn't try it, obviously, but the whole thing repaired for under $1,000. Like, you're not going to have that same type of repair or crash. If you're spending $60,000 on a drone, like it's going to be way riskier.
Yeah,
because those things happen.
Yeah. It's just going to be the biggest thing is to reshift our minds of what something costs. I think that's going to be the hardest thing.
And that means also reshifting what you charge per acre, which then...
Yeah, there's no way that you're going to be able to charge more per acre than what we're charging currently. You can't. How are you? How are you going to do that? The farmers don't even want to pay what we're charging right now. They want to pay less.
It could be farmers choose not to. I just don't know if you have drones that cost double and they also cost
everybody's going to make less. Everybody's going to make less.
But at some point, it's not worth it.
It's still worth it more than it is to run an airplane and, be having a $2 million airplane. That's the thing. I think the margins are so good right now with drones that everybody's just going to have to make less.
Just because you have more invested in your equipment.
Yep.
And your ROI is less.
And there's that the other side of it too, where it's like maybe the equipment's not as good, but is the application going to be not as good? Like, how are you going to convince a farmer to pay more just because your equipment costs more, but actually might not do as good of an application? Like, there's just no way. I mean, unless you can prove that your application is going to be that much better.
I'm telling you, I do not see how you're going to, in the future, increase the cost to the farmer.
Yeah. And I don't think I disagree with you. I'm just seeing the ROI. I'm seeing probably a lot more people that will choose not to get into it. And won't that, like, by definition, like the one drone guy, the 5 drone guys in the county that are doing it instead of the 50 or whatever, maybe it's instead of 20, they're booked out. And so that means next season the price goes up because they're going to get enough acres, whether it's 17 or 18.
But again, the farmer looks at what he gets.
Yeah.
Like,
it has to make sense for the farmer.
100%.
Yeah.
Like, did you watch that video I sent you guys where a YouTuber did a really good breakdown? His fungicide cost him this much.
Yeah, I watched that one. Yeah, that was a good video.
It just doesn't even make sense to him at that point. Like, he's literally losing money.
And I don't know if a $60,000 drone is what tips it over the scale, but if the farmer doesn't make money, he's not doing it.
Yeah,
if the applicator doesn't make money, he's not doing it.
Yeah.
It's just how our economy works. So,
but I think what I'm saying is the margins. We're going to release a video, and I'm still on the fence if we're going to release the video, but it's going to show you the margins that we actually make by spraying these acres. If you're efficient, if everything goes good, if there's a lot of, but if it goes good, the margins are really good. Yeah. So you're just going to have to make less. And
yeah, maybe. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I agree. You can't put your price up to the point where a farmer won't pay for it.
But I was just talking to a guy that picked up a trailer. He's from the Midwest. I mean, in Ohio, we think we're from the Midwest, but like this is Midwest, Kansas, flatland. And obviously, I mean, what he was telling me, prices were, a lot less what we would make here in the East. But I still wonder, like, because of the type of fields and the efficiency, like,
jeez,
even though
Austin, can you imagine what we would make there, though?
Yeah, like I told him, don't worry about that. Like, you're going to be able to be more efficient than what we can here. Like, you're going to still make good money, even though your prices are way less.
100%. Okay, perfect example. I went to Kansas, and the trailer sat at one location, and you could have done 500 acres at one location. No moving. Yesterday, we did 392 acres.
Yeah.
We did 392 acres. We moved 7 times.
Yeah. No, 6. 7 was your guess. We moved.
Okay. Yeah. 6 times to do 392 acres.
Yeah.
We moved, meaning drove
Yep.
the truck anywhere from 10 minutes to 21 minutes to get to the next location, to get your drones open up, to get flying again. Every time.
Map the fields.
Yeah. And we started, we didn't start till 8 a.m. and we were done by 4:30?
Something like that.
4:30, we were done. It was like we were putzing around. We did 392 acres, and if you charge $13 an acre, and he was charging more, this is what you would have done yesterday. $5,000, and we were putzing around, and we moved 6 times. And if you would have one location in Kansas, let's say it's 600 acres. It's a 640, a mile square. I would probably set up on the bottom side. I'd split it into 4s, and I'd move up the road as I'm, so it's not ferrying back as much. And if I charge, $8, let's do $9. It's still $5,000. How much could we get done? There's just no knowing. I bet you could still do $10,000 a day at $8 an acre, because you do a 640. You would do that in 6 hours. You do 1,200 acres. I guarantee you could average 1,200 acres.
Mm-hmm.
We were
in about 15 hours of work.
15-hour day. Yep. I think so. I think that's true. So even at $8 an acre, I mean, look, what's your overhead?
Yeah.
What's your overhead? It's not that much.
Yeah.
That's why I'm so hesitant if we actually release the numbers, because then if the farmers find out, or if the other applicators find out, and they're like, now the farmer doesn't want to pay me $16 an acre because you just told them, this is how much you made.
Okay. Yeah, that's fair. The other thing that goes with it is you have 1, 2, 3 months to like make all your money for the
100%.
year. So if you could do that every day, the pricing would be totally different. But because you have such a constrained season, then you gotta for it to make sense. So what do you think the average length is for?
But that's where
a custom applicator?
Joe that is going to do it as a seasonal job. He's going to be a nurse the rest of the year, and he's going to come in, take 2 months off, and come in and undercut you, and he's still going to make more.
Yep, that is not a bad setup, right? Have something else that you do.
100%.
At what point does the price have to drop low enough though that airplane guys can't do it anymore? Because like at some point that's going to have to level out because
there's just the overhead that the airplane has. You had mentioned it, Kevin, one other time that there's this what is it called? Kind of like beef between the drones and the airplanes. It shouldn't be like that, but it's kind of like that. I know that the airplane guys were dropping their price because drone guys were coming in being less. But like you said, there's going to be a time that the airplane cannot do it, but the drone is actually still profiting.
Yeah. And I think there's going to be a time when guys actually start seeing the results of the drone, and if it's actually going to help them out more when they're producing their crop, then even if they have to pay more for the drone, they're going to eventually get to that point where they're going to do that.
Yeah, and there's going to be another thing that sets farmers apart. Like it just happened to me this morning. I felt so bad for him. I apologize multiple times. There's a local guy that wants to start spraying. He has T40s. He has a trailer setup, not a NuWay trailer setup. Who knows what he looks like, but he wants acres. And I was going to give him some acres, and it was on the schedule to start spraying that this morning. Totally forgot to tell him. I was out spraying last night till 10 o'clock. Totally forgot to tell him, don't show up at that field. He showed up there this morning. He's like, hey, are we doing this? And I was like, sorry, we're not doing it. But if you wanted to, you're there, you can boundary. He has T40s. I said, put a gallon of water in, do a half gallon acre, just fly the boundary and get the border made so you're ready to go when it's time to rip. And he was like, well, he doesn't have a repeater. He doesn't know if he can get back there with a T40. And he's brand new at this. And he's trying to figure out, how am I going to boundary this? Then he says, well, I can just boundary it on my controller. I said, we don't like to do it like that anymore because we want to provide the best application for the farmer out there. If I do a manual plus, like we've been doing it, I, without a doubt, know exactly where that drone flew next to that tree. It's between 15 and 25 feet next to the tree, guaranteed, because I manually flew it next to it. It's not dropping a boundary point like on your Google image thinking that you're 25 feet from the tree. So farmers are going to start learning who does the best application. And if it's NuWay Ag that flies the boundary, physically flies it, while spraying, knowing that they're between 15 and 25 feet away from the trees or the power line or the structure, whatever it is, that's the company they're going to want to use. They don't want to use that company that pulls in their boundaries so far to protect themselves from the trees that they're not getting the coverage that they would get with the other guy that would fly it manually. So I told the farmer, hey, there's this guy that showed up. I forgot to tell him. He's like, well, if he wants something to do, I got 20, 30, 40 acres for him. Does he have any experience? I said, no. He's like, he didn't want it. He said, I'll give him something just to get his feet wet, but he would never allow him to spray his acres. Wow. Then I was like, whoa. I forget sometimes what we have. And it was an opportunity that somebody else gave me to step in underneath him, right? That company believed in him, not me. And he was willing to say, hey, Mike, I have some acres. Would you want to come spray it? And because he gave that opportunity to me, I was able to log those hours. I was able to log those acres. Boom. Instant confidence booster for myself and for the farmer, because now the farmer knows. Because haven't I told you before, it's like if I go up to a farmer and I talk to him about acres, it's the confidence that I have to tell him, I don't care that you have 1,500 acres. I'll smoke that stuff in 2 days. I don't care. Then he's like, whoa, like you're that confident you can actually get it done? Okay, I'm confident in you. But if you come up there and you're like, I'm a drone spray pilot, I've never sprayed before, but I think I can do your acres. Like, nope, not doing it.
Not interested.
Yeah, so
Yeah. So that's a hard journey then for somebody starting out.
This is the biggest holdup right now for new entrepreneurs that have zero farming experience that want to have a spray drone business is, how do I get acres under my belt? How do I build confidence to tell the farmer what I can do for him? And I think you have to think that you're going to be the best applicator out there, because there's going to be people that do this operation in your area. How can you do it better? M+. When I told him, no, we fly all our boundaries in M+ and we spray that boundary, then I can tell the farmer with confidence, this is what we've done.
That's good.
I didn't think about it till this morning.
That's good. Yep.
Yeah. And you know, that's something, you know, you're kind of in the same situation. You gave me that opportunity last year. We went out to Indiana, sprayed some wheat, just kind of getting our feet wet. You coached me through it. You helped me kind of, you know, learn the process. And then we went out to Indiana again for the real, you know, fungicide season on the corn. And it wasn't more than my second batch through, which my second batch was like a 900 acre batch, that I got a call from the co-op and said, hey, I'm managing so many different like helicopters, other drone rigs. I don't have time to go back and look at every single applicator to make sure that they got everything. I noticed that you got everything on this last 900 acres. I'm putting you on my like top applicator list, and I'm not going to check up on you anymore. Like, I know that you can get it done.
Yeah.
And so you build that trust and that confidence, but you know that he was checking up on me to kind of like, okay, is this guy going to actually do, you know, what he says he's doing? And it's like the same thing when we went down to Kentucky. There's a guy down there. He's like, he didn't hear of any drone pilot down there that could do more than 150 acres a day. And it was like
that's shocking.
That's so shocking.
That's a real thing.
Yeah. And Madison and I ended up doing like finishing up that 200 acres in just
I was like, it's a little filler job. We'll come do it right away. And he was like, oh, well, the other guy would have been here for a few days. Yeah. It's true. I feel for some of these guys that are getting started. And when he reached out to me, he's doing drone deer recovery. And I was like, you know what? I want to give this guy an opportunity. He's trying to get into an industry he knows nothing about as far as farming. He's a great entrepreneur. He can talk to people, but I think the biggest thing that is hindering him right now is he has no acres under his belt. No acres. And so after thinking about this, I think that's probably going to be a lot of people's holdup, is just getting those first 1,000 acres. I think it literally just takes 1,000 acres under your belt to let you build that confidence to start going out and talking to farmers.
Yeah.
I mean, he's talking to farmers, but it's just not turning into acres.
So, I mean, did you give him any advice on what to do? Like, what would be your advice to him?
To talk to farmers?
Oh, just like, how does he get started then?
There is none. He is hustling.
So tell me if this is a bad idea, but 1,000 acres, like for somebody who's new, that's a week's worth of work, right? If you have T40s, like 1,000 acres is...
Yeah, probably. Yep.
So why would you not go up to farmers and say, let me just do your acres for free. I will charge you nothing this year. Like in a week's time, you could solve that problem.
Or am I missing something? If they would do it. See, I just wonder if the farmer would do it. Yep. If you say it's free and you have no experience, are they actually going to put the chemical in your hands? Because they still have to pay for the chemical. Yep. I wonder if they'd do it.
I wonder too. But if they would, that's how you do it. Because a week's worth of like free work, you build some connections. And if they don't do it,
I'm not in those shoes anymore. The only thing I could tell him is, would he be willing to do that? And if so, can you go out and sell 1,000 acres for free, or is it done? Right now, the fungicide season is done. It's like people already have their people lined up that they're going to want to have done. The only other thing he could do is go sell pasture land. Go sell 1,000 acres of pasture land. Are you doing 1,000 acres for free?
If it's a week's worth of work and it gets you over the hump to where you can start monetizing, because guys can go on in this stage of kind of being stuck for months, like 6 weeks, and they're just kind of like, they can't get going. Just grind it out, do a week's worth of work, like for your community.
I wouldn't do. Are you saying I wouldn't do 1,000 acres for the same farmer?
Yeah,
I would
I
go
agree.
do 40 acres for one farmer. Say, hey, observe, particularly with pasture land. Those are easy results to see pretty quickly. Say, hey, let me do 40 acres. Let me just do 40 acres of that, and then go to the next guy, do 40 acres, and then you're establishing, belief or confidence in 10 farmers that you can do this if you do. But to do it all for one farmer, I don't think.
Honestly,
I agree
guys,
with that.
I just think with the reach that we have, it's become so easy for us. We will never be a rookie again with what they're dealing with. But if we can put ourselves in their shoes and try to help them figure out how to get over that hump, I think that could be so beneficial for so many people. But if we think about where we were spraying, there's another trailer right in that area. Why weren't they doing some of those acres? Like they could charge way less. They're right there doing it. It's hard to say. And some farmers, once they have made a commitment to somebody and they've been doing it for so many years, they don't care. I'm just using the guy that I know. He has my field boundaries. He knows what I need done on it. He's going to get it done. I don't have to check on him. They just don't want to have that worry of switching over to a new guy that might not know where his field boundaries are, might not understand this and that.
Yep.
Just don't want to deal with it.
Especially when
But
there's
after talking to him this morning, I was like, man, I feel bad. I feel bad for people that are just starting out that can't get acres because they have 0 acres, 0 experience. And after talking to the farmer, he's like, I would not put him on any of my big fields if he has no experience. Does that mean you wouldn't put him on any of big fields paying him $0? I should call him. Should I call him? I'd be like, hey, are you willing to do these acres for free for the experience? Because if you are, the farmer is willing. But if you are not, the farmer is not. That would be crazy.
Yep. But going back to the cost of what would it actually cost him to do 40 acres or this 40 acre field, whatever it is for the farmer? His hard cost would be what?
Driving there, diesel in his truck. He's about an hour and 10 minutes away from the field. Diesel in his truck and gas in his generators.
Are we talking $100?
I would maybe 150 on the high end. Hard cost.
Yeah. So even if it's I don't know, pay me $200 and I'm doing it for the experience. Pay me $200 to cover my fuel and gas and expenses, and let me just come out and do this for you.
I get it.
But I think from your experience, you're saying the way you were able to talk to farmers and how you were able to be confident and communicate with farmers, it was so different after 1,000 acres. The whole game changes.
Yeah. Yep.
So it's how do we help people get to 1,000 acres?
Yep.
Yeah.
So
I talked to a guy, stopped in at a co-op last year when I was trying to pick up more acres, and I was like, saying, hey, I have this whole drone set up and blah, blah, blah. And I could tell I wasn't getting his interest. And I was like, yeah, I sprayed 8,000 acres last season in about 24, 25 days. And all of a sudden he's like, do you have a card? Let's talk later on in the year.
Yeah.
I'm not thinking about fungicide right now, but call me back. But all of a sudden, when I said that 8,000 acres, that's what I did in that amount of time, he was all of a sudden interested.
Yeah.
But before, not interested at all.
The problem is a lot of people have either had a drone or have heard of a drone that tried to spray some acres and they had a bad experience. Like myself, right? I was spraying for a farmer, had one XAG, crashed the sucker, got maybe 125 acres done in that day. Bad experience, right? Farmer's going to tell other farmer guy, drones either don't work or it's be careful. And then...
And that's why it is so risky to only have one drone. Even if you have a T50 and then just buy a used 40, buy a used 30.
Or
just parts,
Yep.
something, backup, whatever.
We were doing it yesterday.
Yeah.
Right, we had a solenoid go bad or a pipe burst on the one drone. It's like we had another drone in the back. We just pulled off of there so we could keep running. But then you tell the next guy he has to buy 2 drones instead of 1. And he's like, oh geez, this is not going to work. And now here we're telling him how hard it is to get acres, and it's like I'm not going to sugarcoat this thing anymore. This is hard. It's hard. And once you get over that hump, it's easy. It's hard, and then it's easy. You have the acres, you have the confidence, you have the equipment, you know what you can get done, and now you can tell them what you want to charge.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know what his name is for sure. I think he's in Virginia. He's been doing it for many, many years, more than me, has more experience than me. He knows what he's worth. He will charge them out of the, backside for doing specialty work, and will just rake it in on easy stuff. But he can do that now. He has the experience. He's done it. But for the new guy,
I think the challenge is or the hurdle that some guys have to get over is the fact that knowing that you could pay off your rig in a month makes it feel like if you can't pay it off in 2 to 3 years feels like a bad deal. But when you look in the scope of starting a business, being able to pay something off in 2 to 3 years actually isn't a bad deal. So that the thing that gets people stuck is like, oh my goodness, if I'm not able to pay off my rig in that first year, that first month of spraying, I must be a failure. I must be falling apart. And no, it's like some guys are going to start slower, but it's like you said, it is hard until all of a sudden it just becomes easier and easier. And I just think guys that are getting into it have to be aware of that. It might be slower, but you're still going to be able to pay this business off a lot quicker than a lot of other businesses out there.
Yeah. I do know this after talking to a guy that came to the shop buying parts for his Crash T50. We just had a good conversation, and he's like, Mike, people won't do what you do. You were raised differently. You were just raised differently, and we make it look easy. But I think the Lord blessed us, like me and Jay and Austin. It just clicks, right? It just clicks. Like we maneuver the drone without even thinking about how to make the drone do what we're trying to make it do. Like it just comes. Like when I see somebody land and they're like coming over, coming down, going over, coming down, going. I'm like, you just do it. Like just do it. Like. It just so we just fast, like, and it just comes. And he's like, Mike, you just grew up differently and you do things differently. And so to expect people to do what you do, probably not going to happen.
This kind of brings up. There was one time that I was taking off for the trailer, and I did it out of auto mission, and I should have just manually started the drone because I was going under the wire, and so you have to like disengage the auto going out there. And I mean, that drone was sitting there for 2 seconds, and I just saw a glance from Mike being like, what are you doing? Like, I'm just like, it's just, you get so used to those drones, you're just doing it, that anytime there's like a little hiccup that you're like slowed down for 2 seconds, it's like, hey, what's going on? Like everybody's kind of aware that this drone is like sitting there for like 2 seconds, and it's like, what's going on?
Yeah,
it was kind of a funny moment. I don't even know if you realize that you did that, but I just know that like I got that glance from you, and I'm like, okay, I got this. It's just a little different here. But you just get used to it, and it's the same thing too. It's like I noticed a few times that it's just like you're aware that even for 2 seconds, if something different out of the normal is happening with that drone, your self-awareness goes up because it's like, what's going on? Just, hey, this has been a pretty long podcast now.
We could get in the probably a whole podcast just about experience. But I would still tell people that if you're going to do this, like there is a way. It's hard, but I think if once you get through that first 1,000 acres, you start building confidence, it'll all be worth it. But
and I really wish that, I mean, this is a great conversation, and I really wish that we had more ways to support the under 1,000 entrepreneur. Like that's on my mind, is if it's really, really hard and then it's really easy, how do we help people gain the confidence and the experience, and what would we recommend? So it was
like that one video you wanted to do. You wanted to go out, buy the equipment, go get the acres,
like see for myself what it's like to go talk to a farmer, never having actually sprayed acres myself.
Yeah.
And
I bet you would learn so much, just like you did when you went with me to Kentucky. You were like, man, that is a miserable phone setup system you got. Within a half a day, you figured out that's miserable, and now it's working. It's like you would learn those things right there. That holy crap, like this is actually hard to get acres. Because I know that the guy that showed up at the field this morning, he's a go-getter. He gets up early. He does deer recoveries through the night. He does all these things. Why is he not getting acres? He doesn't have the experience. But we give him the experience here this season right now. He can put that in his belt. He can walk up to a farmer with confidence.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna just circle way back, just because we're kind of closing this part of the conversation, but because we were talking about the whole DJI docs and stuff like that, you guys were talking and yapping, and I was doing some research, just finding it kind of interesting, and I'm just gonna bring this back into it, just since we were talking about it. But after the North Carolina incident, natural disaster, this is according to the internet, who knows if it's all true or whatever, there were 13 docks deployed and used down there post management. And the way that I kind of understand it is you can apply through an agency for special governmental interest amendment that's going to help you bypass a lot of those things that you would normally fly under your Part 107. So like restricted airspace, beyond visual line of sight. And I think that's how they were actually able to do this, but they were using this to help monitor like flood areas that needed to be rebuilt, looking for vehicles that were flooded or lost persons or whatever. So they were actually able to do this, and from my understanding, just what I looked at, bypass a lot of your normal regulations because of the procedures that are put in place for like emergency situations like that. So I don't know. That was just kind of.
So our attorney was actually talking to me about something like this. If we would have had this drone issue stuff that we're dealing with right now, if this would have been during COVID, there was a special law that would have allowed us to be exempt from a lot of this stuff, because of how the law during that time allowed for emergency situations to be written. Literally.
And that's since then changed. No longer the case.
Yep. Because we're COVID up and left on, was it like December 16th? It was like at a certain day it left.
Gone. Yeah. It was just nice of it to leave. Yeah.
We're glad it's not here anymore.
Yeah. Oh man.
No, that's good. Alrighty. That was a good combo.
Yeah. That it?
That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. That's good, Mike. That like you're thinking on that and your feeling of that. It's like it's so good to experience again firsthand.
Yep.